Our first purchase of this, what became a 100-acre farm, it started out as a small part of our lives, just grew over time to become a larger and larger part of our life. Well, we came here in 1978 and stumbled into a wonderful little farm on Hollywood Boulevard.
And drove down into that valley and just fell in love with it.
Hidden Valley Farm is an integrated operation that started with a lot of focus on vegetables and animals and hay. It's now a 1,200-acre, sustainably harvested, managed woodlands with about a couple hundred acres of bogs and maybe 100 or 200 acres of wildland preserve that we will never do any cutting in. And the rest is mixed forest land in various states of repair and disrepair. We have now been managing our woods for over 40 years. Our forest management is all really aimed at the long term, and we've always been managing our woods to increase the health and quality and quantity of wood that's here. So even though we've been harvesting continually, there's a lot more wood on the land today than there was when we first bought it. And the wood is of much higher quality, better diversity, better condition. So we go into the woods and the first thing we do is identify what we think are going to be the future great crop trees, the future trees that, really just sort of send a little chill up your spine when you see this big, beautiful tree. We identify those and then manage the woods really around those trees for the best production of those trees. So we're going in and harvesting trees that are damaged, trees that are diseased, trees that are simply overcrowded, and we'll thin those areas. And every year we probably are working only in about 20 or 30 acres.
What I mostly do is the agricultural part of it, the garden. And nowadays I just have 7 other local families that help me with the garden. Because we've scaled down, I'm working with NRCS, focusing on native plants. I'm working with them on creating a small field that I'm trying to turn into a sort of a wildlife, rewild it, and trying to encourage and even plant native plants that attract pollinators and are good for other wildlife.
We manage for the trees, we manage for wildlife, and we manage for the trail network that we maintain. The trail network is really a pretty integral part of the whole operation. The trails not only provide us access to the woods to be able to get where the trees are. The trail network means we can go in and harvest a little bit, and we can go back in a few years and harvest a little bit more.
A lot of it is developed as a result of the forestry, but we do pay attention to where the trails go. We like to get some terrain in there, places to pass by.
We have a well-established trail network here, over 25 miles, and it's a wonderful way to gain knowledge about the woods, is just to be able to wander the trails.
We don't restrict it at all. We're happy to see our neighbors, our friends, people we don't know.
And it's been a real benefit to not just us, but as I said, the whole community of friends. Most property in the country gets divided and divided and divided. We've been doing exactly the opposite. We've been taking lots as they become available and reassembling a large, contiguous, forested landscape.
We like to aggregate and create big spaces for wildlife habitat primarily, and we are within one of the largest undeveloped areas in mid-coast Maine.
It gives you an opportunity to manage the land without having to invest in trailers and things that you would need to haul equipment from a distant lot to another lot to another lot. One of the things we try to avoid is never have bare soil. The more you disturb the soil, the more you're going to lead to erosion and sedimentation and just bad things happening. When we started out, it was a small Kubota farm tractor and a rope or a chain behind us. More recently, we went to a cut-to-length harvester system. I can drive through the woods, identify the trees that are to be harvested. I can reach as far as 30 or 40 feet away from the machine, grab the tree, cut it, make sure it's being felled and dropped in a direction that doesn't hurt any neighboring trees. The cut-to-length system will then strip the branches off the tree and by its name, cut to length. And then I'll have a pile of trees that will be the source of firewood, and we'll come through with the tractor pulled forwarder and pick everything up. And with this system, you're pretty much always on a protective buffer of branches and tops of trees, so that the harvester and the forwarder aren't driving on the dirt. They're driving on a bed, a roadway almost constructed of the tops and branches that are come off as part of the harvesting process. When we heard about the Leopold Conservation Award, we were, of course, thrilled. And we've known from day one that what we do personally on our own land, that matters. And we saw the award as being a way to bring focus and recognition, not to us, but to the practices, to the things, to the conservation ethic, improving the community and improving the world we live in.